My audience of one.
Hello.
Here you go, audience.
Thank you.
Right. First persuasive speech. Speech classes, by their very presence within college curriculum across the country and the world, are intended to increase the public speaking and the communication abilities of students largely by putting them out of their element, surrounding them by perfect strangers, and overcoming difficulties in order to create better means of communication and speech delivery. This is, as I see it, the mission of college speech courses. I therefore pose to you the following. How is one possibly expected to improve their speech-giving abilities by simply feigning through the motions for a computer? Our world has advanced far beyond the original dreams and intents of the collegiate system. The human experience is one of trial and error, success and failure. I put it to you that my speech is giving to you through a medium of failure, a symbol of a failed system simply trying to keep up with the times. My goal during the course of this speech is not to assign blame, rather to point out glaring faults within this quote-unquote educational system. It doesn't stop with online speech courses, nor does it end with attending on-campus courses for a speech class. My goal here today is to mourn the death of education, to persuade each one of you that while you can get by with a meager education derived by such means as these, that you might find it within yourselves to aspire to greatness, to challenge both yourself and the system in order to effect a social, if not a systematic, change. College courses today are frequently offered online. There is no standard which is to be met. Simply a computer and a high school education will do. It is a common discussion within our society that the stigma of online education is being broken down. I put it to you that the stigma is not disappearing, that the system is dumbing down our society to the very point of its acceptance. The collegiate system and the university experience began simply as a free-minded people meeting and exchanging ideas hundreds and hundreds of years ago. While one can technically call online courses an education, I put it to you that they are not. Lacking the human component, online classes are simply just information. If we are to accept that one can simply derive a college degree from absorbing information, I ask you, why is it that one must even go to a class? Why do you not just go to a computer? Why don't you just have students pay for a course, collect a workbook, fill out the appropriate sections, and turn it in? Because at one time, this practice of correspondence courses, and it is in some systems still available. However, the encroachment of standards has limited this field so that the same people that were interested in skirting the system by doing it easily and cheaply have moved to the internet. What I am simply saying is that this is not merely an indictment of a simple college speech class, rather it is an indictment of the entire system. I understand that what is easy is often preferable, but very few take time to ponder what was lost when they've gotten something so easily. What you have lost is your opportunity for education, and you have gained merely just information. Just as a man at a loss for romance might find the desire to wander into a whorehouse, college students, often displeased with the amount of effort one must expend to simply attend and maintain regular courses, have instead chosen instant gratification via the internet, which bears no additional value other than strict informational purposes. Have you ever walked up to a counter at a gas station and paid with a $20 bill and wait there wrapping your fingers on the counter as the clerk daftly attempts to make change? There's a possibility that this man with which you have just had a negative exchange could in fact hold a college degree from what seems like a fine institution, or at least sounds like a fine institution. For instance, the University of Phoenix. It sounds like a university in Phoenix, Arizona. However, if someone actually attended a physical university in Phoenix, Arizona, their degree might actually be worth something, rather than something with which a graduate might, while working at McDonald's and running out of paper placemats, could foresee foreseeable future use instead. The fact that online educational systems are now openly bragging of wider acceptance of their degrees is a sign of exactly how far society has fallen. Why must someone go to the University of Phoenix to learn something? Why not just go to Wikipedia? and look it up. You can look up whatever the hell you want to know, because there's no proof that they have any advanced knowledge of material learned via self-taught means with no coursework. Just as one with online education, there's really no proof that whoever is doing the work is actually the student. While our previously mentioned University of Phoenix graduate may in fact be the manager of the McDonald's now, as opposed to simply just a hired-on person at minimum wage, in most respected fields, online degrees are worth exactly as much as the paper that they're printed on. If you can take only one thing from my speech today, it's this: close your computer and go to class. My issues with this course are in line with my personal and philosophical beliefs about online education. They are far more extensive and far-reaching as they deal with a specific subject rather than with a blanket statement of beliefs. In this course, I have come to expect that my teacher is nothing of the kind, rather a moderator that one might expect to find on some sort of internet chat room. In this course, I've learned to be self-reliant, as I must be to have any hope to complete any assignments, as any attempt to derive help from my instructor have failed. I've learned that rather than a teacher, I have an email account, possibly manned by a person with a matching name and description to my instructor, which may or may not reply to anything it receives within the promised 24 to 48 hours. If I were to denigrate myself to the level of online education, I could have easily made this entire argument specifically to my class. However, as I started earlier, this is a system of failure created by an aged educational system simply trying to keep up in the 21st century. If I were to cite a perfect example of this failure, it would be this course. It should be stated now, for the record, that I signed up for this course as a last resort. I did not freely seek it of my own volition. Thus, I wash my hands of its shortcomings. I have attempted to responsibly keep up with coursework as described in my syllabus. However, the dates of assignments and requirements, while adequately described in the syllabus and on the calendar, appear to be only fantasy, as the instructor appears to set deadlines at her own will. And in all honesty, even among those to receive information and a degree from the University of Phoenix, this is unheard of. To all my classmates and constituents who may happen upon this speech, I can only say that this is an indictment of the system and not of yourselves. You have chosen an online education for your own reasons, as I have for mine, and it is not for me to judge you. It is, to me, a shame that we live in an age of hashtags and the expression of ideas that is often being limited to 160 characters. Again, this is not so much of persuading you not to pursue an online education. It is simply beseeching you to expand upon it rather than to just complete your coursework and claim that you're educated. I put it to you that your online education will in no way educate, rather only make you inform. Long gone are the days of Socrates, his free exchange of ideas and discussion. We live in a world which has become cheap and trivialized via methods such as these. The internet, like television before it, is full of possibilities, limitless in form of delivery. If we are to measure the future of the internet based on the use of television, we're screwed.